Good morning to all of you. So we have started this chapter measurement, and in this chapter the following contents we have discussed so far, that is what is measurement, the explanation of measurement we have done, then what are the few units of measurement that we will use, then the important terms like we have discussed about length, mass, time and temperature. Then we discuss what are the few importance or application of measurement, then measurement of area, and then we discussed how we can measure the area of the regular surfaces and how we can measure the area of the irregular surfaces. Then we discuss about the volume, various units of volume, and at last we have defined the density. So today we are going to start with this topic, density. In this we will discuss about the units of density, then the properties of substance based upon their densities. Then we will see how to measure the density of regular solids and how to measure the density of irregular solids. Then we will see what is distance and what is speed. So these are the contents of today's topic. So let's start the discussion. First of all, density. So density of an object is defined as mass per unit volume of that object, or we can say that density is actually mass upon volume. It is generally denoted by the symbol. This is the symbol of density, that is we called it as rho. It is a physical property of the matter. That means it will depend upon the shape and size. Now if an object sinks or float on the water, it only depends upon whether it is lighter or heavier as compared to the water. So if density of an object is less than water, then what object is going to float, and if density of an object is greater than the water, then object is going to sink. So the object which has greater mass is called heavy object, and object which has less mass is called a light object. So whenever you want to decide whether the given object is going to sink in the water, you just compare its density with the water. If it is more, that means it is heavier and it is having the greater mass, so it is definitely going to sink in the water. And if it is less, that means it is a light object, lighter than water, so it is going to float in the water. Now like we are using the units to measure the area or volume, in the similar manner the units of density are, the SI unit is kg per meter cube, and in the CGS unit we replace kg by gram and meter by centimeter, so it becomes gram per centimeter cube. Now if mass is 1 kg and the volume of that object is 1 meter cube, the density becomes 1 kg per meter cube. If the mass of the object is 1 gram and its volume is 1 centimeter cube, then the density becomes 1 gram per centimeter cube. So the relation between SI and CGS unit is 1 kg per meter cube is 1 kg upon 1 meter cube. So 1 kg is equals to 1000 gram, that you must be knowing. Then 1 meter is equal to 100 centimeter. So we will write 100 into 100 into 100. So what you will get after calculating, you will get a relation, that is 1 gram per centimeter cube is actually 1000 kg per meter cube. So this is a very important relation that you should remember, that 1 gram per centimeter cube is 1000 kg per meter cube. So suppose if you have the volume of the water as 1 centimeter cube, so the mass of the water of volume 1 centimeter cube at 4 degree centigrade is 1 gram. Okay, this is the standard value. So we can say that density of the water at 4 degree centigrade is 1 gram per centimeter cube, or in terms of SI unit it is 1000 kg per meter cube. Similarly, we can say the mass of iron cube of a volume of 10 centimeter cube is 78 gram. Therefore, in the CJ system, the density of iron will be how much? 7.8 gram per centimeter cube, which is equivalent to 7000 kg per meter cube. So you can compare the values of iron and density of iron and water. See, iron's density was 1000 kg per meter cube, and water's density was 1000 kg per meter cube, and iron's density is 7800 kg per meter cube, which is much greater than the density of the waters. That is why whenever you place a piece of iron on the surface of the water, it is going to sink into water. Now the very important first property that we will discuss: equal masses of different substance have different volumes. For example, a very familiar example, if you compare the volume of cotton and the volume of lead, okay, and both are having the same mass, so you came to know that, and you can notice one thing, that volume of cotton is much larger than the volume of an equal mass of the lead. Now the reason behind this is, since we know that lead is a solid, and in this case particles of lead are closely packed, while the particles of cotton are very loosely packed. So whenever you see the volume, you will find that volume occupied by the cotton is much more than the volume occupied by the lead for the same mass. Okay, so here is an example. So it is a piece of metal, suppose, and here is again one more substance is there whose density is 8.8 gram per centimeter cube, and here the density is 0.2 gram per centimeter cube. So if you compare the volumes, as the density is increasing from 8.8 to, the density is decreasing from 8.8 to 0.2, what actually is happening, for the same mass, all the three objects are having the same mass, so their volume is increasing. And volume, you can increase in volume or size of the volume, you can estimate just by looking at the substance. So if you look carefully, you will find the size of this solid is much less than the size of this solid, because its density is much more than the density of this solid. So as soon as the density increases, the volume occupied by the given substance decreases. Likewise, if you take 1 kg of the flour, or 1 kg of the rice, or 1 kg of the coins, so you can see here, for the same mass, again the volume occupied by the coin is lesser than the volume occupied by the rice, and it is again lesser than the volume occupied by the 1 kg of the flour. So if you consider the equal masses of aluminum or gold, so again you can see that the object with the larger volume has the smaller density. So whenever you have the two objects having the same mass, and if you want to just compare their densities, so the object with the smaller volume will be having the larger density, or you can see the object with the larger volume has the smaller density. Next property is equal volumes of different substance have different masses. So in the previous property, we have taken the same mass. Here we are taking the same volumes. For example, here you can see that each and every piece of the solid is having the same volume. Okay, so again volume you can estimate by just looking at the size. So all of them are having the same size. But now if you look at their mass, so the mass of wood is only 8 gram, whereas the mass of copper is 87 gram. So if you compare their masses for the equal volumes, you can easily say that the density of copper is more than the density of the wood. Okay, here again we have taken two substances, one is alcohol and one is water, and both are having the same volume. Okay, again volume will be the reading that you can measure from this. whatever space they are occupying. So when you weigh their masses, here you can see that water's mass is more than the mass of alcohol. Again, the reason is the density of water is more than the alcohol. So if you got the equal volumes with you, and if you want to again compare their densities, you just weigh their masses, and on comparing the masses, the highest mass will be having the highest density. Okay, the highest mass will be having the highest density, and the lowest mass will be having the least density. Okay, so you must have seen these type of balloons also. Now, since in the previous discussion we are only comparing the values, now suppose if you wish to calculate the value of density of the solids, then we have two cases with us. First is density of regular solids. So the regular solids density can be measured by measuring its volume and mass. So the mass of regular solid can be measured by a beam balance. Okay, beam balance, you must have seen that thing that is used by the vegetable seller or grocery or at the grocery shop, in which there are two pens are there, and it is comparing the weight of the given quantity whatever you are purchasing with the known quantity, that is the weight that person is using, and its volume, and volume is measured by using the standard formula. For example, if I take a cuboid, a substance which is having the cuboid shape or cubical shape, so you can easily measure the length, breadth and height by using the ruler, okay, or by using the inch tape. Then you can measure the mass of this substance by using the beam balance or even by using the digital balance. You just put that object on the beam balance and compare its mass with the known quantity, or you can put this on the digital balance also, so that you can easily get the readings. So suppose the reading is 82.3 gram. Now we will use this formula, that is density is mass upon volume, and the volume of cuboid you all must be knowing, it is length into breadth into height. So by dividing this mass by length into breadth into height, we can easily calculate the density. So in this manner you can calculate the density of the regular solids. Now suppose if you are having the irregular solids, like suppose if you wish to calculate the density of the stone, so in that case, or any irregular object who is not resembling with the regular shapes, so in that case again the density of irregular solids can also be measured by measuring its volume and mass. So the mass of irregular solid, whatever solid you are having, you can measure it by using the beam balance or even by the digital balance. The third is the volume. So volume is measured by measuring the volume of the liquid displaced by the irregular solid when immersed completely in the liquid. So we will use the displacement method. Like we already knew that whenever we are having suppose a glass full of water, so if you put something into that glass full of water, some water is going to spill from the glass. So the reason behind that is that extra volume has been occupied by that substance. So we have to calculate that extra volume. Now suppose if you are having the measuring cylinder, okay, suggestion is you should use a measuring cylinder because it will give you the exact value of the volume. So in the measuring cylinder you can easily read the value, and it is the lower meniscus, so we will read the value at the bottom. So suppose if I read the value, okay, so suppose it is 47 ml. Now whatever solid's density you wish to calculate, you measure its mass by using the electrical digital balance or by using the beam balance. Suppose I have used in the electronic balance, I have got the mass as 39.21 gram. Now you completely immerse it inside the water. So when you completely immerse it inside the water, what you will notice, the level of the water from here has been risen to this point. Okay, level of the water has been risen from this point to this point. Reason is that extra volume is due to the volume of this solid. So you can measure the volume of this solid by taking the reading from here. Suppose it is 59 ml. So you can calculate the density of the stone as mass upon volume, that is V2 minus V1. So if you do it and you divide it by the mass that you get from here, you will get the density of the stone. Okay, next is distance. So the distance is length of actual path traveled by the body irrespective of its direction of motion. Now what does it means? Suppose a person wish to go from A to C. So if he go from A to B, then he go from B to C. So the distance covered by that person will be 4 plus 3, that is 7 meter. Okay, so if the person chooses the path in the form of red line, then he is going to cover the distance of 7 meter. If the person chooses a path in this black line, then the total distance covered by that person is going to be 7 meter. So whenever you cover a distance, you have to measure the length of the actual path, and we will not take into the account in which direction that person is moving. Okay, last is speed. So what is speed? Speed is the distance covered or traveled by a body in 1 second. That is speed equal to distance traveled upon time taken. It is denoted by V, and if the distance traveled is d and time taken is t, then the speed is d upon t. So units of speed, so unit of SI unit of distance is meter, SI unit of time is second. So what is the unit of speed? Unit of speed is meter per second, and the other unit of speed is kilometer per hour. So if you wish to calculate, or if you wish to relate kilometer per hour and meter per second, you can easily calculate the value, and you will came to know that 1 kilometer per hour is 5 upon 18 meter per second, or we can say that 1 meter per second is actually 3.6 kilometer per hour. Okay, so if you wish to calculate the speed of your car, then you can get the distance from the odometer that is in your car, which it is going to tell you the distance covered by the car, as well as you can see the time in which time you are traveling that distance. Then you divide that distance by the time, you will get the speed of the car. So this is how you can calculate the speed of the car. So this is it. This is the end of this chapter, measurement, and whatever concepts we have discussed, you just read in the book and as well as watch the video so that you can understood very carefully. Thank you.